You welcome Mr. Kumar and all distinguished panelists, speakers. On behalf of IEF, let me also welcome you all as participants, as also distinguished speakers who have kindly agreed to participate and share their thoughts on this very important, very important subject. We had done a seminar, not exactly on this 1 billion ton coal and what are the challenges and what are the way forward, but on a general issue of coal logistics, coal transportation. Like on coal, we have done number of workshops and seminars by India Energy Forum on the long-term plan, on the future of coal, on quality of coal, on washing of coal, on gasification of coal, a whole range of issues we have discussed. Now, in the wake of an emerging thing now, in the last 6-7 years, a sort of not a consensus, but a thought emerged. And we also talked in one of the discussions, future of coal. Future of coal. When we had Mr. Jain as the coal secretary, we had invited him. At that time, this issue also as a point of reference, future of coal. Because of the world's obsession on carbon emission, and therefore the actions that are being planned and being implemented through renewables, through solar, through wind, hydrogen, and a large number of issues on energy transition. I personally took an early position, very early position, not now, because I did make some calculation that India is not in a position to sort of afford that type of a thought that we will participate in a big way and make a global difference in reducing carbon. Because India is at a very low level of energy consumption, low level of power consumption, 1250 kilowatt hour per head per year. And during the period we have talked, our differences are widening and widening with reference to the per capita consumption of electricity in China. 6-7 years back, we used to say China is 3 times and we are somewhere. Now China is 4 times. China is 5,000 kilowatt hour plus, and we are at 1250. So therefore, we have a need. We have a population growth which can be very conservative. Population growth is conservatively now projected at a lower percentage. Still, we will be much larger than China in 2050. Now itself we have almost crossed. So therefore, per capita consumption, given the very poor base that we have, will increase. We will harness all potentials of hydroelectric, water power. We will harness all potentials of solar. We will harness all potentials of wind. Still, we will need to grow. So the position that I had taken at that time was that maybe proportion of coal-based power generation will reduce from 70% now to maybe 30% in 2050. But the absolute value of billion units of coal that is produced, and therefore absolute value of tons of coal that is consumed, will be much larger. So the coal-based power generation in next 10, 20, and 30 years will be more than coal-based power generation now. So therefore, let us settle that matter. This position we took, personally I took about a couple of years or 3 years back. Today, more and more people are recognizing, even some of the Western countries, the European countries are getting back their shut down coal-based power plants. Ukraine crisis has also sort of thrown some lessons in this. So therefore, that matter, let us settle it there. Now, having said that, the problem of today's discussion is not whether coal will be 1 billion ton or someday it will be 2 billion ton or more. It will definitely cross 1 billion ton. Ministry of Coal, PIB, I think I have a PIB record. A couple of years back, they came out with a figure that Coal India itself will do 1 billion ton of coal by 2024. Now that figure is revised. That figure is now revised to 2025-26. But that is Coal India. When we are talking of coal logistic, we are not talking of coal logistic only for Coal India, because now the structure of coal industry is also undergoing change. We have captive coal blocks allotted, we have commercial coal mining blocks allotted, and these are giving good yields, good yields. Captive coal block production growth is more than, let's say, Coal India growth. Even commercial mining very soon, growth in terms of growth, not the total value, will increase. So therefore, when we talk of coal logistic, we are talking of coal by Coal India, Singareni coal field. These were our past champions. They continue to be our champions. They will continue to be champions for many more decades. But then there would be substantial addition to coal production by various other organizations. Already they have started happening. So therefore, when we talk of coal logistic, even today and in the past, I used to attend the meeting of the Cabinet Secretariat Coordination Secretary way back in 91, 92, when the issue was coal production, rake, movement, etc., linkage, and those issues continue. We have production, but we can't be lifted. If we lift, we can't take, we don't have sufficient rakes. And as a result, as now itself it was being said by Gautam that almost how much 26%, no, yes. 55%. 55% of this is getting to, or more than 50% of this is going to road. So railways have lost their traffic to road, not only for coal but for a number of other items, right? And road transportation of coal has a lot of harassments, has a lot of risks, has a lot of environmental problems. So therefore, coal logistic is, it is going to be with 1 billion ton coal. Coal logistic is an issue even today, every day, in fact. So you get into problem of how to get coal, how to get rake, how to get it moved to your power station. So therefore, a holistic view has to be taken. I think Coal India, Ministry of Coal did a study in 2022, coal logistic policy by Ministry of Coal. I happened to just glance through this. This is very latest, 2022, with very optimistic thinking, Many things have come, but 2022 or 23, whether we are getting into this, where we are working with same seriousness, because what is important is that even before that, there is a SBI CAP study on coal logistics. So many studies are there. It's known. Should we use only coal rail transportation? Should we use pipe conveyors? Should we use MGR? Whole range of merry-go-round system. Merry-go-round system, as a part of NTPC, we were very much involved in this process. Railway had a reservation at that time, and it has proved that it has worked. So I think power sector planning, power sector location, power plant location, again time has come to look back that whether we should get to the policy of pithead power station nearby, within a radius of 30, 40, 50 kilometers, maybe preferably within a radius of 20, 30 kilometers, as we did in way back in late 70s when NTPC was formed. How much relief it gives to the transportation of coal. So therefore, first preference should be that do we have these power stations located? Generally, there will be exception here and there, but larger number of even future power stations besides the new power stations that we have, or it is under construction, should be in that. And then, to the extent possible, coal development plan, coal mine development plan should be integrated with the coal evacuation. Like we are doing power plant, we are not doing power plant without evacuation. One of the basic mistake was that there is no power plant without transmission evacuation being planned. It might be some mismatch here and there in implementation, but at the planning level, it is planned. Similarly, there should be planning of coal development along with its evacuation. I mean, imagine, I was just looking to it, 1980, only 15,000 megawatt was the thermal power capacity, only 15,000 megawatt. Today, thermal power capacity is 212,000 megawatt, including lignite, 212 and 15,000 megawatt. How much of railway change has happened? Same Howrah-Mumbai line and Howrah-Madras line, and then some tie line here and there. And I must compliment railways, how with signaling and all that they are able to do it. But then this called for 2, 3 parallel lines to Howrah-Bombay and Howrah-Mughal and things like that, because these are the coal belts covering large areas. So one you have Orissa side, another is here UP and Madhya Pradesh and maybe part of Maharashtra. These are the coal blocks. But imagine the railway lines that have been done. But more importantly, I happened to be on the task force. In fact, I was the convener of the task force, which Mr. Prabhu presided over in 2014-15 when the new government came. And at that time also we suggested to, it is not that was the first time we suggested, earlier also we suggested, that Coal India should also form joint venture with maybe RITES or with the IRCONs to create their tie lines to the main line. So that, because Coal India presentation was, CMPDI presentation was, 100 million tons of coal remain blocked here and there because of transportation bottleneck. Then we asked, why not create this? Create a JV, you have a lot of money, create a JV. So I think thoughts have been there, but I'm not very sure that this coal logistic policy and the policy and the project that was done by SBI CAP, even now there is a serious implementation on this. Take, for example, own your wagon scheme. It is so unattractive that large number of industry groups have not come in this. Those who are forced to nowhere, only they are coming. So that means we want somebody to help us in railways, but we will make such a policy that it is unhelpful to the people who want to invest. How can it be done? I mean, it has to be equitable. It has to be in a manner smooth so that people get attracted and solve your problem. It is our problem, it is nation's problem, railway's problem, and coal problem. But railway, coal, government all put together, we make a scheme which is so restrictive and which is so non-remunerative that people will not go in for this. So that means own your wagon scheme, own your rake scheme. So we will cry for rake, we will cry for wagon, we will not do it. So that is another area. Another possible area that has been discussed also the coastal shipping. Are we promoting coastal shipping? Yet another area is the waterways. Promoting. So at idea level, many things have happened. But I think country has faced, very frankly, I tell you, I have all the compliments and praise to the coal people who have done a lot. But I also have a very critical comment to make that between railways and coal, they have remained monopoly for decades together, and this monopolistic structure has prevented any major thing to happen. Fortunately, that monopolistic structure is changing in case of coal. Sooner or later, it will change in case of railways. Railways should promote such tie lines to be done. Other organizations should go to the rescue of railway. Otherwise, coal was in the firing range. Coal has done commercial mining. Railway will continue to be in the firing range. And most of the traffic will continue moving to the roads with the harassment of everybody that is involved in this. I think that's some of the points I'm making. After listening to all of you again, we will come up in question answer and then try to sum up. Thanks a lot. I think it has been a very good discussion. We had very excellent presentations by all the three eminent panelists. In the beginning, Gautam made a few points, I made a few points. These presentations have covered very extensively all the issues. The basic point is that railway plans, and railway plans are very huge, as Mr. Gangia pointed out. Whether these plans are being developed in a project management mode, because my association with railways way of doing, and I was all along critical, but maybe things might have changed, that it picks up so many projects, provides inadequate budget, and year-to-year budget is given, and it starts and it takes 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 20 years. That's not the way project is planned. Project is planned is that this is the project, total capex is so much. This year, this will be the outlay, this year, this will be the outlay, and then you try to balance your fund flow and your requirement. So I think if this has changed, then it is fine. If the railways are in surplus, it shouldn't be like highways. highways went in a big way, and later on they realized that they cannot cope with that much of money, and they started then saying that we will sell off some of the routes. And it is there where the relevance of Anil Razdan's question comes. That the task is so huge and the financial outlay will be so large, whether all that is being planned, which have been projected by Mr. Gangia, is adequately financeable or financed or not. That's the point. If we try to finance through excessive cross-subsidization, then your industry will become sort of ineffective, non-competitive. So those are the issues which need to be taken care of. What was somewhat discouraging and disappointing that even now, I made that point that energy sector has a struggle between two monopolistic organizations, coal on the one hand and railways on the other. Coal, something has happened. I tried when I did electricity, I tried for Coal Act also. But Coal Act took 15 years. After Electricity Act, about 12 years. Railway, even now, that's not happening. Some of the services are being offloaded. I think question of Anil Rajan was very relevant. I'm telling you that 1 billion ton, we have captioned this. Perhaps we should have captioned this 2 billion tons because 900 million ton already we have done. 1 billion ton we will do somehow. Road will supplement, somebody else will supplement. So therefore, railways plan and coal sector plan should exactly go in the manner that when power projects are being planned or any large projects are being planned where coal movement is a necessity, that evacuation plan should be a part of that process. Unless that is integrated for a group of power projects and a group of industries in different belts, we will be having a problem. That does not seem to be the approach. Whereas in power, that approach has been there for quite some time. It also needs some improvement. That evacuation plan is an integral part of the planning of project development. The evacuation plan should be an integral part. I think Mr. Prasad made a number of points. I picked up some of them because this rapid loading station and all this is not new. I have been also critical of Coal India from other side. I was on the Northern Coalfield Board. And those days also we were talking of evacuation. Those days also we were talking, it has tons of money. I mean, for years together, it could have taken up a few connecting links to the main railway system. We can't go on blaming railways always. And therefore it has not done. Even the task force report we gave in 2014-15, that has not been followed. So I think everything I mentioned to you, I have gone through in the last 1 week, 2-3 reports. Reports have been there. Logistic plan by SBI CAP and logistic plan by the Coal India as a PIB plan. Question is whether those things are being implemented. I think one of the important points that emerged, and we have been trying to follow it up, is why don't we wash coal, reduce its as content to below 34% or 30 to 34%, so that the whole tonnage reduces and therefore the burden on transportation reduces. I mean, that is a retrograde step that was taken a year or two back, and that we will definitely try to follow up. So far as the discussion of water versus with Mr. Hajra is a very good point. I also agree. But it is not one or the other, Mr. Hajra. Question is, if you are talking of 2 billion ton, definitely waterways, you are not thinking in terms of 2 billion ton to handle. Coastal shipping has been there. I still remember that power stations in Tamil Nadu used to use coastal system, there's a shipping system, to take coal from the north to their power station. So that is possible. Or you bring coal from Mahanadi coalfield right up to Maharashtra side or Gujarat side, that is quite possible through coastal shipping. But the point is, waterways inside in India will be only a supplementary role. It cannot be a major role of solving the problem of transportation. So while one is in agreement with you that maybe economics of water transportation could be justified, environmental aspects of water transport could also be justified. But the amount of tasks that you have, 1 billion tons, then 1.5 billion tons, then the 2 billion tons, uh, through inland waterways, if that can be done, that is very difficult. Ganga from Patna, I mean from here, UP to West Bengal, that is being planned for 6-7 years. Mr. Gadkari has been after that. World Bank has also been trying to put some fund into this, but these are taking time. So therefore, transportation through inland waterways is definitely a justified point. But if we are saying one versus or the other, it may not be. It may not be justified. I think I also suggested that going forward, since coal is going to stay for the power sector, I think we should get back to the principle of pitted power stations, nearby coal power stations, so that transportation itself reduces. Privatization of part of the work, part of the activities, I will re-emphasize that railways should consider. I'm not very sure, despite what Mr. Ganga has said, whether we will be able to solve these hassles and harassments of both coal sector and power sector at the hands of railways in coming years, because rake becomes a problem. I mean, it is very encouraging, Mr. Ganga, you have said 5,200 new wagons and 5,500 more wagons. But when I review power projects even today, I am in touch with most of the power plants people. They have problems. They do have problems. They continue to have problems. And they will continue to have problems if we try to say that only railways will do everything. I think we will have to supplement their efforts. I think with that, I thank you very much and thank you all to participate and be nice enough to prepare and give a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas. Thanks a lot.